Oh, so you saw Fulham against Liverpool. Well, this is a league that Arne Slot would have to take his time to learn how to accept defeat, because it's not going to come in the magnitude or the picture which you expect. That was against Fulham. Nobody expected this.
No, we really didn't. And after the McAllister goal, we were covering the game for radio. We were watching it together. We all thought that it was a foregone conclusion. So we kind of relaxed, like, oh, Liverpool. You know, and it's after Arsenal had even drawn, it was almost like, oh, yeah, then it's over. But look, incredible fights by Fulham, and that's what we're talking about. All these teams in that bunch from about 10th to, let's say, 4th. Yeah. They are all fighting for those last 2 European places. Because I think
third to it, because third is even shaky.
I don't think. I think Forest would definitely finish in the top 5. I agree that I don't think that they will drop below 5th. Let me say it that way. Not that they won't drop from there, but I think the top 3 teams will be in the Champions League next season. Yeah. But there are teams in that area. There are other teams fighting for those. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of teams that are having a very good end of the season. And we're also looking at Bournemouth. Bournemouth are also in there, but they are on the other end of their scale. They seem to be tired. Their results seem to be lagging. I think last season they won one of their last 9 games. I think this season to their last few games. It looks like it's a problem with them, the way Andoni Iraola has his team set up. They seem to fade in the second half of season. So that's something to look out for next season if they start well again. But look, incredible teams. And if Bournemouth, there's been a bit of a break. The games are not as quick. They are playing 1 game a week. Maybe they can recover a bit and show some level. But look, incredible games. But for Liverpool, they are playing one of the worst teams in the Premier League this season. I think West Ham have been uniquely poor. They sacked their coach. I don't think Graham Potter has improved their team in any way. They might have even gotten worse. But because of the configuration of the table, because Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester are so bad. Look, Leicester went on a run of about, in their last 16 games, Leicester won 1. 3 points from your last 16 of your last 48 points.
About 7 games at home, they've not scored a goal.
Look, Leicester have been incredibly bad. Ipswich have been incredibly naive, because if they use like the table based on the first goal, Ipswich should be like 12th, and they can't hold on to lead. So a lot of very unimpressive teams, even Wolves, Manchester United, Spurs have also been very bad. So it's been very easy to ignore how bad West Ham have been and how much they've regressed, because this was a team that 2 years ago won the Conference League. Went to a Europa League semi-final before that, a Europa League quarter-final after that, where they lost to the eventual winners. So this is a very good team in terms of the players they have and the quality they have in their team, but they just haven't had a good season. And for me, Liverpool should win this very easily, especially since they've been struggling a bit. I think Salah's new contract, Van Dijk's new contract is about to be announced from what we are hearing. I think that will kind of raise the morale. I mean, it makes it kind of obvious that Trent is not going to sign, because these signings have happened and he's not been part of them. So I think it's obvious, but I think that they'll still get the win, and I think they'll be one step closer to the title.
What would be that morale for the Ghanaian? Because for me, I feel he's bigger than the club now.
You mean Mohamed Kudus? The form that he showed this season doesn't indicate that he's bigger than the club.
Change of manager or something like that.
I've sat here to analyze this West Ham team over and over again, and I feel whatever shifts that they wanted. I mean, Moyes had a kind of football, a certain style of football that he was playing, and they definitely want to switch. I've seen teams always wanting to make that transition, and in that process, they seem to get into a certain fallow period where things become very difficult before you can transition into that. There is a reason why they brought in Lopetegui. They wanted to, possess the ball, try and play very attractive attacking football. And
that was nice.
He couldn't actually execute it. I mean, they've got a few quality players to be able to play that kind of football. But the team was wired in a particular way. You look at the recruitment that they didn't get in all the players required to be able to play that kind of football. Now, Potter has come in, and like Susu rightly analyzed, those teams at the bottom, they are that bad. So you are losing on many occasions, but you are still not seeing any significant drop. So it gives you some room to continue to do what you are doing. But Potter hasn't added anything to the team yet, and it's still, they've regressed actually. I mean, you check all the metrics. how the number of shots they are playing.
I think every metric, they are basically 17. Because those 3 teams are
bad. You check all the metrics and they are not making any significant. They are not making improvement. They are actually regressing in terms of the shots, even in terms of possession and everything. They are not up there yet. So I'm sure what Potter will continue to do is to try as much as possible to get them playing as well as much as they can, so that some coaches are now waiting for the season to end.
Yeah,
West Ham is one of them. Right, let the season end and let's have a pre-season and let's see.
Do you think more Kudus should move on?
I want to address that point. You can't be bigger than a team when you are performing at the level of the team. The team has been poor. He's also been poor. Let's tell the truth. If he was playing the way he played last season or 2 seasons ago, and the team was playing this badly, I can agree with you that he's. But I don't think he's outgrown West Ham at all. I think West Ham are probably the 7th or 8th richest club in the Premier League. They make a lot of money. They have a very big stadium. Things are going very well for them. I know this season doesn't indicate that, but he's going to find it difficult if he's playing like this to find a team that will pay more money than he's currently being paid and will pay the price that West Ham will probably demand for him after what they've paid. So if he was playing at a level that you can see that this guy would start for Arsenal, this guy would start for Man City.
Maybe a player like Cunha, who is showing more.
Exactly. If you look at Matthias Cunha is a great example. Thank you for that. Look at Matthias Cunha at Wolves and how he is everything to the team.
Exactly.
He's the one making things happen for the team. The team has been very bad, but without him, you feel like this team is nowhere near as good.
Exactly.
I don't think this season you can say that without Mohamed Kudus, they've really lost anything.
He has not like 14 games without scoring in the Premier League. 14 goals.
I'm so disappointed in you for
saying
that.
I'm here to ask you questions. Questions that
we love Kudus. He's our star boy. We love him. But we also have to tell the truth that this season he's not lived up to expectations at all. I believe he's a player with the talent and ability to play for a top team. But this season he's not shown it at all.
Absolutely.
But look, I think he had issues with the first coach from what we've heard. The new coach has come in and has not done anything significant. So it's not necessarily his fault, but the performances are not there. Let's see next season if he's able to take that step up and be the player that you believe he is. Because I believe he is that player, but he's not shown it this year.
Even at the Black Stars, he's not shown it.
I think everything is affecting him this season. I think it's been a tough year for him.
Faye, I'm not part of the argument. I'm only asking questions. Clean.